Good afternoon, dear friends. I welcome one and all for today's webinar session by Hello Kids. Today we are going to learn about Unlock Child's Superpower. To listen to more about this, we have our guest, Nikita ma'am. Welcome to Hello Kids ma'am.
Hello, welcome, thank you. Welcome all.
Okay. So Nikita Phadnavis is an early years professional, teacher trainer and parent coach based in London. She was awarded the top 100 leaders in education award by Global Forum for Education and Learning in 2019 in Dubai. Glad to have you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Pleasure
Over
for
to
me.
you. Over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Hello, well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, people joining from other parts of the world. It's the morning for me. Um, we are here today to learn to see how we can unlock our child's superpower or our children's superpower for that matter, if you're a teacher. With me, Nikita Fadnavis. Mamta has kindly introduced me, but I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about myself. I'm not going to bore you with my awards and degrees and all that, but I'll just tell you a bit more about me to tell you how I have come to this place today and why this topic is such a passion point for me. Okay, so I am a mother, a wife, a trained teacher in the UK. I'm a Montessori and Froebelian practitioner. I have studied child psychology as well, and the biggest one is emotional intelligence. So I also work as an emotional intelligence trainer. I work mainly with professionals, but these are the two passions that I like to bring together, which is children and my early years background and emotional intelligence as well. Now, another big thing, besides all the awards and everything, the biggest one for me is I have worked in 8 different countries. I've traveled to more than 60 countries. And I'm trying to say is I have worked with families from all walks of life, children of all ages as well. And what I did observe was people are so similar and yet so different in so many ways. And what makes us similar is if you think about it, all children all around the world, whether they come from the most developed countries or kind of underprivileged children as well, they still follow the same stages of development. Nobody starts to, just because they're in a privileged society, they don't start to run before they crawl. We all still go through the same stages in life, but what makes us different is our experiences, our upbringing, our exposure, our culture. And our culture is what? It's the experiences, the lived experiences, and the shared experiences as well, which teaches our culture. So this is what makes us slightly different, and that is what distinguishes some people from the others. Okay. Um, Right, coming back to me, I have struggled as a parent and I've struggled as a teacher as well. And my biggest struggle wasn't that, oh, my child won't eat this, or my children are not listening to me, or won't do their homework. None of that. I think my biggest struggle was the guilt as a parent, trying to always be on top of things and trying to think, am I doing the right thing? Am I being a good mother? Am I spending enough time with my child? That was the biggest one. I gave up my career. I took a break from my doctoral research just so that I could spend more and more time with my daughter, and I still always felt inadequate. In the class, it was the same thing. I always thought, oh my God, with the increasing number of children in the classrooms, I was thinking, am I able to give enough attention to all the children? Do they deserve more? Am I doing my best? And when I took a break from my doctoral research, my PhD mentor, he asked me one question. What is it that really matters to children, to all children? What is the one thing that will make the biggest difference? And if you think of the Pareto principle, which is 20 80 20 principle, which is 20% of your work will have 80% impact. So what is it that 20% that you could do to have that 80% impact? And I always thought it was the amount of time that I spent with my child. I decided to spend more and more time with my child, but that didn't help because I was spending 3 to 4 hours at a stretch with my daughter. I wasn't on my phone or my tablet, none of that, actually being there, quality time, what you call. but I was preoccupied. I was always thinking, oh my God, I'm spending all this time with her right now, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Who's going to take care of that? Oh, what happens if I don't reply to those emails on time? And that was eating me alive. That was the guilt. That was the guilt of the parent. So I thought, okay, I need to find out a way out. What is it that I could do and still make her happy and make me happy as well? And that's, long story short, all this research led me to thinking, okay, what is it that distinguishes successful people from the rest? What is it that, what are their qualities? What is it that differentiates them, is what I was thinking. And was it education? Do I need my daughter to have the best quality educational toys, books, flashcards? I don't know. I was thinking, is it the best schooling? Is it private education? What is it? And then I thought it possibly cannot be only education, because we know a lot of successful people who are actually school dropouts as well. And if it was just education, then think about it. Well, Bill Gates comes from the United States. And if it's the education system in America, then all Americans would be highly successful. But we do see poverty in America as well. We do see people going to prisons there as well. We do see people struggling in America too. So it can't be just down to the education system. So then I thought, okay, well, maybe it's their teacher. Maybe the teacher was unique. Well, if that was the case, then maybe that entire class should have done well, right? It's not just the teacher. So it's not just that one child then. So it wasn't just teacher, it wasn't just education. And again, yeah, if you think about people like Thomas Edison, Benjamin Franklin, John D. Rockefeller, Walt Disney, Albert Einstein, Richard Branson, they were school dropouts. So, and in fact, Richard Branson, he was dyslexic. Oh, well, he is dyslexic, and he struggled big time in school. So education, and he left education at age 16. So education wasn't it. By no means I'm suggesting that people should drop out from schools or education is not important. I work as a head teacher for 3 schools at the moment. I would definitely not suggest that education holds no importance. But what I'm trying to say is education isn't all. There is something more to it than education. So what is it? What are the qualities that make these successful people so distinguished? What are their qualities? Is what was boggling me. And a bit more research led me to a lot of answers. I normally run this workshop as an 8-week course for parents called Unlock Your Child's Superpower. And when I do this live as an interactive session, most people say, okay, what are the qualities of successful people? You'd think qualities like resilience, that's what people normally tell me, positive attitude, leadership qualities, communication skills, or even self-efficacy, self-confidence, empathy. All these qualities are the qualities of highly successful people. And yes, they're all right. And I totally agree. These are the qualities of very successful people. And for me, the most important one would be self-awareness. Because if you're not self-aware, if you can't decide what is it that makes me happy, what is it that's important to me, then how will you decide where to put all that resilience, that perseverance, that grit? Where would you put that? In what direction would you channelize it? And hence, it's important to be self aware, to be able to decide what is it that's important to me? What would make me happy? What would give me that sense of fulfillment? And that's important. So, I call these qualities resilience, perseverance, grit, self efficacy, positive attitude, the soft skills, the leadership qualities, all of those qualities, I call them superpowers because these days, well, we don't see them in every single person, do we? And that's why we admire these people who have these qualities. Now, I always wondered when I was doing this research for my doctoral work, I always wondered, does my daughter have these qualities? And if no, then how can I cultivate these qualities in her? Have you ever wondered, as parents, as teachers, what can you do for your children for them to have these qualities? How can you teach them? And if you don't have them, or if you have them, does it make it easier to teach them? these questions always plagued me. I always battled with these questions. And I was thinking, okay, so how do I teach these qualities to my child? And the answer is quite simple, to be honest. You'd, you'd be surprised to know that all children are born with all these superpowers. So our job is half done here. We don't need to teach them any of these things, they already know them. What we need to do is simply foster these qualities in them. We want to make sure that they don't lose them. Because as Sir Ken Robinson said, qualities like this, even creativity for that matter, we're all born with them, but we get educated out of them. So as parents and as teachers, our job would be to make sure that our our children are not educated out of these qualities. In fact, that we foster these qualities in them. So how exactly can we do that? Well, Paulo Coelho said that the biggest superpower that children have is the belief that they can do everything, really everything. And then I started thinking, okay, if that's the quality that children have, which is the belief, the self efficacy that I can do anything and everything, then why do we see so many self doubting or even self sabotaging adults? So something's going on there. And yes, again, coming back to um, Ken Robinson said, it's we get educated out of this. It's our life experiences. But then that makes me think, who is it that's teaching us not to believe in ourselves? Is it us parents? I don't do that. I don't go to my daughter and tell her, hey, you know what? You're a loser. Stop believing in yourself. You shouldn't do this. You should just give up. No, I don't do that. And I don't think any other parents consciously do that. And if you were to, I don't think you'd be here today watching this webinar. Or teachers, do you teachers do that to your children? No, right? So then how is it that these children lose these superpowers? Now, probably I'm not making a lot of sense, so I'm going to give you an example. Okay, think of a child who is trying to stand up for the first time, who's trying to walk for the first time, trying to take their first steps. Okay, this child, think of your own children, think of children you've seen around you, think of your own self. When you were trying to make those first steps, when your children were trying to walk for the first time, did it just happen like that? Did they just get up and go like, okay, there we go, I'm off now? No, they didn't, did they? Well, they tried, probably fell down, tried back up again, fell down once again, and they did that many, many, many times until they could successfully walk, right? Now, what do you see there? When you see a child trying to walk for the first time, it happens over a period of time. It takes them days, it takes them weeks to master that art of just walking or even crawling or running. They fall tens and hundreds of times, but they still get back up and then they start doing that all over again. What do you call that? That's resilience, isn't it? When you fall back, when you fall down, you have these obstacles, but you don't give up. You get back up and you keep going. And that's resilience. So if you think about it, we all are born with this quality of resilience. That's just one. I can give you examples. We haven't got enough time, but I can give you examples to show you all these qualities that we listed: positive attitude, perseverance, and all of these. We all were born with these qualities. And the fact that I guess all of us here are able to walk, none of us are still crawling. I don't think you all go crawling into your business meetings or to dinner parties. So if you're able to walk, which means you have that quality in you. Your children are able to do that, which means we all do have this quality of resilience and perseverance in us. But then do we still have it? How many of us give up after failure? The first time we fall down, we go, oh, well, this is not for me. Or let alone giving up after failure, how many of us give up even just with the thought of failure, even before trying? So what happens in that process? Now I'm going to demonstrate what happens with an example, with a story, a real life story. My daughter, when she was just about coming up to age 4, I had taken her to a friend's house and she saw a piano for the first time. She touched the keys and it was magical. She didn't know what it was. And my friend said, well, It's a piano and you can try playing it. Then she asked her, what's your favorite song? My daughter was into Frozen back then. She said it was Let It Go. My friend played Let It Go for her on the piano, and my daughter was just enchanted. She thought, wow, this is the best thing ever. And she was like, I want to do this too. She tried, didn't work. What she produced was nowhere close to Let It Go. It wasn't even close to music, it was just noise. So she was like, what happened? Why can't I do it? So that's when my friend said to her, well, you can't just do it. You'll have to learn how to do it. And if you want to, I could teach you. So, with her own will, with her own accord, she wanted to learn to play Let It Go. And that's why she decided at age 4 to take piano lessons. She religiously took piano lessons. She practiced piano and did everything. And just in about 6 months' time, she was ready for her first piano exam. Now, I didn't want to put her through exams and everything. So I didn't want to put that fear of, oh, what if I fail? What if I pass into her? So we decided not to tell her that it's an exam. We just told her, okay, you're going to go to somebody else's house tomorrow and you're going to play the piano there. Okay. We went to this particular hall, the exam hall. There was a nice, beautiful grand piano. And this Mr. John Harper sat her down and said, well, you're here to play with me today. Now, my daughter was not willing to play for this man because she thought, well, I don't know if he can play. She had seen my friend Auntie Hannah play Let It Go, so she trusted her. So she asked this Mr. Harper, can you play the piano? And I was really embarrassed. I was thinking, she's asking a certified pianist to play for her, this 4-year-old child. But that was the confidence in her. She didn't want somebody else to judge her, somebody else to tell her what to do, what not to do, before verifying it herself. Mr. Harper was kind enough. He said, yeah, sure, I can play for you. He played, then he said, okay, now you play. And then she happily played for him. Well, thankfully, she passed the exam, and I was very pleased. Now, mind you, my daughter was not willing to take judgment. Well, when he said, well, you've passed, you've done really well, she didn't care about any of that. She said, no, I want to practice more. I will not give up until I know to play Let It Go. So she didn't care about anybody's judgment. She didn't care about pass or fail. She cared about what she wanted. She cared about what success meant to her, which was playing Let It Go. I was really pleased. That evening, we decided to celebrate. I went to the supermarket with my husband. We bought a cake. At the checkout till, we had quite a few other items. Apparently, the lady at the checkout gave a look to my husband. I don't know what that was. I didn't really notice. Apparently, she rolled her eyes or something. And my husband was a grown man with PhDs and patents, highly successful, highly sought after scientist. After the till, came up to me and said, "Did you notice what she did?" I was like, "No, I don't know. What did she do?" It's like she rolled her eyes, as if we were really slow. Do you think I'm really slow? Do you think I'm not good enough? Do you think I can't scan items? I said, forget it. Who cares? As if she's won an Olympic gold for scanning items at the till. Who cares what she thinks? Let it go. And he didn't. The thought that somebody judged him for being slow bothered him a lot. And that was my Eureka moment. Here I have a 4-year-old who does not care about the judgment of other people, a certified pianist for that matter. And here I have a PhD, patent, whatever, sought after scientist who cared about someone, an absolute stranger, rolling her eyes at him. And that is what happens when we grow up. I still thought, okay, well, my daughter's strong and he's not. That's what it is. But this same child who was just really not bothered by other people's judgment started school at age 5. And a year later came to me and said, Mommy, can you please buy me this toy, that toy, these books, that thing, and, a garden swing. And I was like, what's going on? And she said, because I have all these things at school and I want to play with them, but I can't play with them at school. So I want you to buy them for me at home so I could play with them at home. And I was wondering, why can't you play with them at school? Is your teacher being racist or mean or bullying you? What's going on? Why can't you play at school? And she said, no, it's none of that. In fact, she's being really nice. I was like, what? She said, yeah, she made me the star reader of my class. So my daughter was the star reader of the class. She got that praise. She got that title and she did not want to lose it. So all she did at school was read all the time. When her teacher was looking at her, my daughter was like that because she did not want to lose her title of star reader. She did not want to be seen doing anything else because she thought if she failed at making the tallest Lego tower, she failed at climbing the climbing frame, then her teacher would think that she's no good and she'd lose her star title. And that's why she stuck to her comfort zone, which was reading. And that's when I realized it's not all the criticism and all. Well, yeah, that can be, but it's sometimes this praise that we give our children that is what is holding them back. Now, there's a lot of good research done by Carol Dweck, who talks about this. Shad Helmstetter has done research about this as well. So if you read their books, you'd see that it's the praise that can actually create this fixed mindset for us. Now, I'm going to go beyond this growth and fixed mindset. The growth mindset is that allows you to believe that if I keep trying, I will get better at it. Whereas the fixed mindset is the one that makes you think, okay, well, this is my limitation. I'm not good at this. I'm not intelligent. This is what I can do and this is what I can't do. Whereas the growth mindset allows you to think, no, if I practice, I will be able to do it. And that's what we want our children to have. But I'm going to go beyond that, as I said. The growth mindset is brilliant. We want to have that growth mindset. And a lot of parents these days, so if and teachers as well, I've seen when I was being trained as a teacher, I've seen how praise evolved. So when I was at school, the praise was more like good girl, good boy, that's it. You weren't told why you're a good girl or why you're a good boy. Then when I was training as a teacher, I realized that the praise got more and more specific. So it wasn't just good girl and good boy. It was more to do with, okay, good girl for finishing your math homework on time. Good boy for coming in first in the running race, or whatever that was. It was more specific. Carol Dweck says, don't praise just the outcome, praise the effort. So now we see teachers and parents giving that praise, which is A, more specific, and B, related to the process and not just the outcome. And that's brilliant, okay? So I see parents saying, oh, I'm so proud of you for trying so hard to finish your math homework on time. Oh, I'm so proud of you for trying so hard, or it looks like you've put in a lot of effort into your artwork. So I'm really proud of you. And it's this, again, if you keep saying, that's what led me to Dr. Garcia's research. If you think about it, if you're praising your child as a teacher or as a parent by saying, I'm really proud of you for doing this. You came in first in the class. You make me so happy. What are we doing to our children? We are raising a generation of people pleasers. We are telling our children, when you do this, it makes mommy happy. When you do that, it makes daddy proud. When you do so and so, it makes your teacher proud of you. What about the child's feelings? Where are the child's feelings in all of this? So I would say, yes, the growth mindset is what we want to cultivate in our children, but let's make it child focused. So let's make our praise child focused. So when you want to praise your child, ask them, how does it make them feel? So if they've put in a lot of effort in doing something, be it a piece of art, be it math homework, whatever that is, yes, let's not just focus on the outcome. Let's focus on the process so they know it's the process that matters. It's not just the outcome. Because yes, when you want to start a business, when you want to do something even in your professional life later on, it's the process that counts, because you will have obstacles in your life. But if you focus on the process of getting better and better, that's what leads to success. It's not a destination, it's a journey as we know it. So asking your child, so when my daughter finishes her homework or artwork or whatever, I ask her, and she comes and shows me, I ask her, how did that make you feel? I can see that 2 days ago you couldn't do this. 2 days ago you couldn't play this song on the piano. You practiced really well, and now you're about getting there. How does that make you feel? And she tells me, oh yeah, it was really hard in the beginning, but yeah, I tried and I could do it and I feel proud, mommy. And there's no harm in you giving your praise. And I do say, you're proud. I'm really proud of you too. I'm happy for you. It's not you make me happy. That's not her job. Her job is to make her happy. And as parents, I'm sure we feel happy, as teachers as well. When our children do well, that's what makes us happy. So focusing on the child, making sure that your praise or whatever you do with your child is child-centered, is focused on their well-being and not yours. So don't make the praise about you, because it's their achievement. So it's not about you make me so proud. It should be, how do you feel? And it's that sensation that will last with them forever. They will realize that, yes. So it's the same for my daughter. She knows when she practices a lot and she gets that song right on the piano, she feels proud of herself. And then we bring that into other areas of life. So when she was practicing tennis, for that matter, I did say to her, and she wanted to give up because it was hard. I asked her, do you remember how you felt when you were practicing the piano? She's like, yeah, it was hard. I said, what did you do then? She's like, I carried on. I said, how did you feel after that? I felt good. I said, don't you think you want to feel the same way doing this now? And then she contemplates and she goes, yeah, I'd give it another try. So it's not just the outcome that matters, of course, it's the process that matters. But we need to remind our children, how does that make them feel? So bringing it all back, well, there's loads of these qualities and there's ways we develop these qualities in our children. But what we want our children to know is that what they feel matters. What they do matters. And that's why bringing all the praise, bringing all the effort down to them, asking them, how does that make them feel? And there will be times when they would not feel good about themselves. You might, and that's happened to me. I came in first in the class, but I was not happy with my performance because I thought I could have done better. I mean, the rank in the class didn't matter to me. I got 96%. I was hoping for 98 or 99 for that matter. And I wasn't happy with my performance. And everybody, my teachers, my parents, everyone told me, oh, you should be happy. Oh, you should be so proud of yourself. And I wasn't. It was only my father who cared to ask, how do you feel? I said, not good. Okay, you know what to do next then. And that is what made me feel good, because I know what I need to do next to feel good about myself, to work hard and to get that, what I wanted to do, and to get better at things. That was the whole aim. So if I wish I had more time, but if you can take just one thing out of this today, I would say just focus on how does your child feel? How does any effort make them feel? And reminding them that yes, things are going to get hard and hard and harder and harder. But when you accomplish those things, when you get better and better and better at doing things, you might not be successful. You might not reach your aim. My daughter's still trying to learn the let it go. But when you know you're getting better, you feel a step closer, that will give you that sense of satisfaction, that sense of fulfillment, and that's theirs. It doesn't belong to us, it belongs to them. So ask your children, how does this make you feel? And that's what's important. Remember, our children are born with all these superpowers, and we've seen them. They don't give up as little babies. So let's foster these qualities in them. Let's not praise just the accomplishment. Let's not praise, you make me happy when you do this. You make me happy when you do that. And yes, we don't want to make them egocentric either. So let them work in groups. We teach them the social skills, the values by modeling them and not by telling them this is how it is and this is how it's done. So let's bring it back to our children, offer them the praise, but make it about them. Ask them, how do you feel when they say, I feel happy, I feel proud? You share that. Yes, I feel happy for you, but it's first and foremost about them and not about you. And the same goes to teachers as well. You focus on their progress. You ask them, how does that make them feel? And that's what it is. So thank you very much for listening to me. I really wish I had more time, but if you want to connect with me, of course, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or speak to Hello Kids, and maybe you can get my details from them. Thank you very much. That's about it. Thank you for listening to me. Thanks a lot.